Okay, Mr. Hine, will you call us to order at 6 o'clock? We have everybody here, so we have a quorum. And would Logan, you say there?
Dear Lord, we just thank you for this season with your birth. And we thank you for all the student athletes that are here to be recognized, the other students as well. God, we just pray that you would guide us and give us the best direction for the district, for our students and staff. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. Nobody on open for Okay, we're going to skip our public forum for report and do that on Thursday. We're going to recognize our guests now, and we're going to start with Mr. Wiggins.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to let Coach Fry start with our volleyball recipients of all of their individual accolades, and just want to say congratulations on a great season. Went 3 rounds deep. They finished the season strong, and the girls that are here that are represented were very well deserving of everything he's fixing to announce.
You want them all come up at once, or?
Sure.
No, come up. All right, so now I want to recognize these girls on their postseason accomplishments that they received. First, I'll start with Emma Williams. She was academic all-district, and she was also all-district newcomer of the year. Next is Vera Vaughn. Vera Vaughn is recognized for academic all-district. Next is Zoe Dethridge. She's recognized tonight for academic all-district, and she was also selected on the all-district team. Sadie Williams. She's also academic all-district, and she was selected for the all-district team. Next is Kaylin Roberts. She was academic all-district and also selected on the all-district team. Next is Kinley Roberts. She was academic all-district. She was selected on the all-district team. She is TGCA, which is Texas Girls Coaches Association Academic All-State, and THSCA, which is Texas High School Coaches Association. She was academic all-state honorable mention. Avery Stein, she was selected academic all-district. She was also all-district honorable mention, and she was TGCA academic all-state, and she was THSCA second team academic all-state. And last one is Avery Connor. She was academic all-district. She was the all-district MVP. She is TGCA all-state. She is THSCA academic all-state honorable mention. She was also selected on the press pass volleyball second team this year, and she was selected just this week, or it might have been this weekend. Emerald Globe News volleyball super team, first team sports of the bench.
Moms, if y'all want to take pictures, y'all get up there and do that. Tara's not here today, so for all our guests, if y'all want to take pictures and send them to Tara, she can get them in the paper. Get on there.
put this one in the paper. Okay, let's slide it. I'll get it real quick.
If I ask you to come up here, if y'all would come up here and stand in front, doesn't matter what order, just come up here and stand in front. All of you that are in football, come on up. Including managers. There was a handful tonight that couldn't make it because they either had to work or one of them's playing in a basketball game right now. So I will announce them, but they regretted they couldn't make it, but we do have a good showing. When I go through this, I'll just touch on this. This goes with Coach Fry too. He mentioned a lot of girls that got academic all district. That's probably, in my opinion, one of the most prestigious ones to get, just because, as well as y'all, I mean, y'all will know, you drop kids off in the morning at, golly, crack of dawn, 6:30 to get a lift in. And they have athletics where they get another practice in, and then they have after school practice. We practice 3 times a day. And y'all would very well know that. And when you do that as an athlete, I'm telling you, it takes a lot on a toll on you in the classroom too, especially when you're loaded down. So to be academic all district, to me, that speaks volumes of our kids and speaks volumes of you as parents is pushing that and enforcing these kids to take care of business in the classroom and putting that first. But I'm going to go through this kind of right to left, and that way it's in chronological order. Emily Bass was academic all district. She was our manager, one of our managers, and she did a great job in the classroom, but she helped Eric out. And that's another thing, if y'all have seen on the sideline, Eric volunteers his time on every game, home and away. And I don't know what we do without you, Eric, but his daughters have done a great job of helping him out too and keeping him in line. But Emily Bass was academic all district. Hallie White, also academic all district. We almost had some 15-yard penalties for her because she's yelling at the referee more than that. Saban Deatherage, academic all district. Aaron Hudson, academic all district and first team defensive line. William Wiggins, academic all district and first team linebacker. Bryson Warren, academic all district. Carr, academic all district. Ethan Beltran, second team quarterback. Dakota Sherwood, first team utility player. And academic all district. Briggs Bidwell, first team all district kicker. Pictures at this time, moms, if y'all want to do it.
I think I got something stuck in my teeth. Look
Parents, if y'all will give pictures to Sarah, she'll make sure you put it. Good job. Thank you.
right, Ms. McCown, do you have anybody?
Yes, sir. I brought Miss Rankin, and she brought a couple of students. Miss Rankin was named the ST Math Teacher of the Month for Phillips 66. They sponsored that program for us, and she does a fabulous job using that program in her classroom. She's been working on a Gifted and Talented project with these two young men behind me, Cooper and Anson, and they have gotten some great use out of our 3D printer that they're going to share with you.
Okay, this is Cooper. He is helping Anson. Anson's the only fourth grader in GT at the moment. We have a few nominations this year, but he needed a little help, so we picked Cooper to help us, and they made a great team doing this little project. So I'll let them explain what they did. Do you want to start from the beginning? They had, well, I'll tell you, they want to just talk about their game. They had to research an enigma, and then they chose the Loch Ness Monster to research, and then they had to create a game with that. They had to research all of the possible explanations for the Loch Ness Monster, like how it could be explained scientifically. So we hit some science teaks and some ELA teaks as well. Okay, you want to explain your game? They actually got to let some of the classes play their game this week. So they got 10 out of 10 ratings for it. So. You want to start? All right, go ahead and tell him Anson about it.
So this is the board game we made. So what the main goal is, it's kind of like Clue a little bit. So you go to the start and you roll the dice, and you can enter these rooms and answer certain questions. And the main goal is you're trying to build the monster, which is in the most parts. If you get a question right, you get a piece, and you can't show it to anyone else. And then if you get it wrong, you restart all the way to start and lose all your cards.
And there are some special doors around that play,
For
example, one of them you have to find a key, which, if you look hard enough, is on the first box right here. So you get the question right, you get it. If you see the key, you can announce it. The first one to see the key is the only one that can get it unless they get a question wrong. And that'll unlock this room. But if they get it wrong, they lose the key and lose all the cards and pretty much lose everything.
And then this one you get the roll of 6, and this one we tried to make it like if it was on shore, so it'd be hard to push or some marine on shore, so we made it you have to roll a double 6. But when you roll a 6, you get to keep it if you fail. For example, like let's say you roll a 6, and then it's my turn. And then if I roll a 2, and then it's his turn, he still has that 1 6, so he just has to roll another 6.
Which part did you make with the printer?
Yes.
Oh,
So
They came up with like the game pieces.
where's the silver piece at?
Good job, Kate.
Silver was
Oh, they decided what game pieces they were going to do. They like did everything, so.
Make us game pieces?
We had a 3D printer, so he was telling me about the 3D printer, but that's pretty cool.
They did a great job, I think. There's a little bit of a learning curve for their teacher.
And then here we have the questions, which
You have to read this passage first for you to answer these. And one person will be able to hold at a time, every turn, to hold the answer key and see if they're correct, which will usually be the person that's in charge of the game, which will be you probably.
Yeah, they did all the game pieces and
Was it fun?
And then we have a final question that is more of an opinion question. For the winner, we give him a question, which we have in one of the cards, but we have to find it. It takes a minute. It's the final question, and it asks them if they like the game or not. And it has a yes or no.
So is the Loch Ness Monster real?
Possibly. We do have a theory about it.
they have a theory.
Which it could be a sub that has been floating up. Or a second sub.
Yep. Okay, all right.
Good job.
I don't think so.
All right, Mr. Drew.
I've asked our art teacher, Maria Walker, and some of her students to come in. And, she's been very active with her students. I'm going to see if she would tell you a little bit about what she's been doing.
Were you able to get that PowerPoint going or for the?
Oh, it's in my report, my board
Okay,
report
okay.
when I give that.
Got it. Okay. I wish I would have known. I could have brought some pictures.
Sorry,
Okay.
there are pictures. I just showed them.
You're good.
Sorry.
I can pull it up if you want.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep, pull it out.
It's a few pages in.
I had the students decorate pumpkins for Halloween. Every class decorated 2 of them, and we made it into a contest. And so I just kind of encouraged the winners. The winner would get a party, and I have one of the people from the class that won, and maybe she can talk a little bit about the pumpkins that they did. But they all had to work together to make these pumpkins. And then at the end, we were able to sell them as a fundraiser to fundraise money for art club, so that we could start an art club. So I will let you go and talk about the winning pumpkins.
The winning pumpkins were Remy and Linguini from Ratatouille. We had like one group working on Remy and one group working on Linguini, and that was just a topic or a movie that everyone in the class absolutely loved. So there was a lot of communications. I think the best thing about this project was the fact that we were communicating better than we would have if we did our own.
Yes, they had to work together to be able to create this. And then, so here's what they did. Y'all can kind of look. And I just love that they were able to work together to create this. And they used basically anything we had in the classroom. Some of them had yarn. We used wire. We used all kinds of stuff. Construction paper. We used yarn, cardboard. They were able to use any supply they needed.
A wooden spoon.
Yeah, a wooden spoon. The little mouse has a wooden spoon. But yeah, they were able to use any supply they needed to create these. Do you want to talk about yours? I know that you...
I actually played a big role in designing our pumpkin. Our class is the second Nightmare Before Christmas one, which is Jack Skellington and I forget the other one's name. Sally. I designed Jack Skellington. We used pipe cleaners and paper for his tie and cardboard for his little bat. And then the other group, they worked on Sally and they used lots and lots and lots and lots of yarn for her hair.
Yes. She had a wig. They made a wig with yarn. So,
Now, everything else was paint.
yeah, everything else was paint. So yeah, that's as far as the pumpkin goes. And then we have another. Okay, here we go. So I took my Art 3s and 4s to the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum. They were doing something for the Day of the Dead, and we had talked about the Day of the Dead and how the culture, we had talked about Mexican artists and the culture of Day of the Dead, how it influences art. So we went and did a few activities. We got to see some artwork. We saw Georgia O'Keeffe. They got to decorate a calavera, a skull. And then I took them to the art building, and I was able to get them in the classrooms. I was able to get them into one of my teachers that was there was giving a lesson. I was able to go in, and they were able to sit in during a lecture. And then they were able to see every room, the painting room, the ceramics room. So it was nice to be able to actually go in there and see those classrooms. So, do you want to talk about that since you went that day?
You pretty much told all there was to tell.
And I basically just told them that if they don't want to be, like, they don't want to major in art, that's okay. They could go in and have a class. Like, when I was in art school, there was business people taking ceramics. You can go in and take a class, or just minor if you don't want to major in it. So, I think that was it for us.
I will say that pumpkin decorating contest, these guys won, but there was stiff competition. I mean, there wasn't a weak group in the whole deal. They were all, the students put in a lot of effort across the board.
Yeah, I have the teachers' vote. The teachers were the ones that put in the votes, and they had a hard time deciding who the winner was.
Yeah, including me. And then also, Ms. Walker started an art club also for the students, so they can come in at noon on certain days and have their meetings, and then they're going to do, I guess, certain projects together.
Yep, we're working on ornaments right now. We're doing paper mache ornaments.
Yes.
We want to do pictures for the day.
Yes. Let's do pictures for both of those. Tom, you get them?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not wearing it.
No.
I should take one
Oh
of
my
mine
gosh, I
as
will,
well.
I will.
Okay.
Good job, guys.
Thank y'all for coming in.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Good job, guys. Thank you, guys.
Good job, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Nothing lower than this day.
I know they wanted to show up, but yeah, it works. It's fine.
All right, we're gonna go do business. Does anybody have any questions on the consent agenda? I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Chad, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug. All in favor? All in favor, motion carries. All right. Let's discuss the trip for the group going to Grapevine.
That's Mrs. Henderson.
I'd like to take the high school GT kids to
Dallas overnight. They want to do Meow Wolf in Grapevine and the Museum of Illusions. And the only way I can get it done is spending the night, because 7-hour drive, or even 6-hour drive, and then each exhibit's going to take 3 or 4 hours. So, but I have to have board approval. And the kids have a budget. They made a budget and can get it done for $2,900 for tickets and hotels and food, which we've spent, I think, $800 of our GP budget at the high school so far. So we have it in the budget, just need it to be okay to spend that out with them somewhere.
No problem. Okay, sounds good to us.
Here we go.
Spend more money.
Have fun.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, discuss ESL program evaluation.
Felix, we would do that on, please. So apparently we're supposed to do this every year, but we're going to start this year. We just have to let you guys know about the multilingual learners and Silver Creek ISD. We just have to have an annual program evaluation each year. The second slide just talks about students in across Texas and what percentages of multilingual learners. As you can see, 88% of students that speak different languages speak Spanish, and then there's some other languages. It says there's 120 plus languages spoken in Texas public schools. In our district, we have English and Spanish. So we do have some Spanish speaking students in our school, and it's growing every year. On the next page, it talks about some more of that. They are now calling students that are, they used to call them ESL, and now they're calling them EBs, so they're emergent bilinguals is the new language for students who speak different languages. Really, it's just a lot of different, the next slide is another one about enrollment in different programs. And there's lots of different programs that schools in Texas have for how they handle students that have different languages and what level they're at as far as coming to the U.S. and where they're at in their language skills. The next page, did you know that emergent bilinguals, there's 21% of the student population in Texas, but in Bridge we have a 0.6%. There are 6 students in our schools right now. We have 4 at elementary, 1 at junior high, and 1 at high school that speak Spanish or some sort of a mixed version of English and Spanish. How they qualify for the program is when they enroll in their first year in Texas schools. It's based on their home language survey that the parents fill out. And so if they enroll in pre-K, kinder, whatever grade it is, if their parents put on their form, the home language survey, that they speak Spanish as their main language at home, that automatically starts them in the ESL or ED program. And then there's some testing and things like that we have to do in the schools to see what level they're at. We did in the past, since we didn't have a lot of students, we had to borrow some kits from Region 16 to test, especially the little ones, the pre-K kids, to test them, a Spanish-speaking kit, and Ms. Wiggins does that right now. That kind of lets us know what level they're at for his language, and then we have to go from there. We have to test them on TELPAS testing. There's certain things we have to do with STAR and TELPAS. TELPAS is a Spanish language test. Next page talks about the 2 different types of programs. So there's content-based ESL and there's a pull-out ESL. Our district does a pull-out ESL program, and it's all based on how we serve the students in the classroom. And so content-based is that all the teachers in all the content areas are ESL certified, whereas pull-out, you don't actually pull them out of class, they just call it pull-out. We are requiring our English teachers to have ESL certification, and that's how we serve them through content or in a pull-out program. So our English teachers now are either all certified or working on their certification to be able to provide language skills, and they know the right ways to help the students acquire the language skills in their native language and in their in the English language. The next page is just more about some of the program requirements. Go ahead and go to the next page. Our teacher certification, right now at the elementary school we have 13 teachers certified in ESL. So all the English teachers at elementary are certified. Junior high we have 3 currently,
that are ESL certified. One of our teachers is working on an ESL certification because she's currently in her, she's in like PACE program, and PACE won't let you test for ESL until you're done with your content test. So she will be certified by the end of this year. And then our 3 English teachers at the high school are now certified ESL as well, so they got their certifications this year. If you'll go skip over to one more. So last year, as far as graduation, we didn't have any high school students that had that were emergent bilinguals. Reclassification is a thing. So if a student, to be able to be reclassified and be out of the ESL program, students have to score at what is it, advanced high on their ESL or their TELPAS test, and then they also have to hit what is it? It's approach meets in their reading test. So they have to hit these certain levels in 2 tests to be able to be reclassified and taken out of ESL program. And so we haven't had any students hit that yet for one reason or another. I mean, one of our students has a special need anyway, so he struggles with STAR. And some of our other kids are just too young. They haven't tested in STAR yet. So, but we'll have some kids do that. And then the last fact on that same page is 100% of all our emergent bilinguals pass STAR math. 50% of them pass reading. We've had one that progressed, or 50% progressed 1 level of English proficiency, and other 50% were new to ESL, so there wasn't a previous STAR test for us to look at for their stuff. But our ESL students are progressing. Last page, or the next one, I guess this one. So we are requiring all of our English teachers to get ESL certification. What we've done to encourage that is we've offered to pay for the test for our teachers. So any teacher, like we've had several that we got new to the district this year that weren't ESL certified, and we told them they had to get it, but we would pay for it. So they went and took the test. If they passed it, we reimbursed their certification to try to get some teachers on board with doing that for us. And we also pay for their classes that they can go take at Region 16, and we give them work time to do that, to go and take the tests and the classes and all of that. And then the last page, since we do have one of our teachers who is not currently ESL certified, we have to fill out a waiver for the state. When we did this waiver, the waiver was due the last day of October. 2 of our teachers weren't certified, and then 1 passed the day after the waiver had to be submitted. So technically we had 1 teacher on the current waiver, and then last year we had 1 teacher on the waiver year, but they were just different teachers. So hopefully next year we'll not have to fill out a waiver, and we'll have all of our teachers certified for ESL. That's our ESL program in a nutshell.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Garrison, you want to go over the
Yes, sir.
action on?
We got the updates from TASB for our local policies. A lot of it was just cleaning up verbiage. There was a couple, I thought were kind of highlights, like I thought was neat on the excused absences. In the past, the state has allowed juniors and seniors 2 days to go to a college, for college days, and that's great and everything, but not all kids are going to go to college and don't need to. And so they did add to where now we can excuse a student for 2 days their junior year and senior year to go explore pursuing a career in a professional matter. So they can go and, like if they want to be a mechanic, we could set it up a country to where they can go over there and look at and see what a mechanic does, or any other fields that are in a professional field. So I think that's a great deal, so kids can see, that there's other fields out there rather than, because like I said, not all kids are college material and they don't need to be. And so this will encourage them to do some things in the trade school and that type of deal. So I think that's pretty neat. This did add the opioid antagonist policy to where in 6 through 12, we will have people on campus that are trained to administer the Narcan, in case there's a fentanyl overdose, that type of deal. So that policy is in there now. Our school nurse, I don't remember the name of the organization. She's already set it up to where they're going to come train, they're going to supply the Narcan, and so we've already taken care of all that. But basically most of the other of it was just, cleaning up verbiage and that type of deal. And so I thought those were 2, of the highlights of it. Is there any questions on any of the rest of it? All right, that's all I got for that.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the TASB update 122?
I move to approve the Texas Association of School Board Update 122 local policy, CQB local, CSA local, DC local, EHB local, EHBC local, EHBCA local, FEA local, FFAC local, FFB local, FL local.
Okay, I have a motion by Doug. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Rusty. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. All right, let's talk about donation for dual classes, Phillips 66.
Yes, sir. Kenny Morrison is a representative from Phillips. Great guy. He came in my first year as superintendent and sat in my office and we talked, and really I consider Kenny a friend now. I think he's a really good guy, and he's doing all he can to help the kids in Hutchinson County, whether it be us Morgerson that, and he's trying to be as fair as possible, and I like that about him. And so what he's done, instead of just giving money to Frank Phillips or wherever it may go, he decided to divvy it up between the campuses, and so he gave us $5,000 to go towards dual credit, which will help a lot of our kids. And so I'm very appreciative of him and that donation, and because it's important those kids, especially the ones who want to go to college, it gives them a jump on college when they get there. And so it was a great thing for him to do that for us.
Any questions?
What does it run? Just curious. I do like to enroll in a little great class right now.
It is. They reduced it this year. It's not near like it's been in the past. Do you know?
Yes, sir, it's $165 roughly per course. And that's dramatically less than what we paid last year.
And Frank Phillips has done a good job too of helping us out on that also. So
30 classes.
yeah.
Good.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the donation of $5,000 for dual credit classes for Phillips 66.
Motion by Rusty. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Logan. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. All right.
The next one, the same deal. Kenny Morrison from Phillips 66 is giving us $10,000 for playground equipment for the junior high playground. The reason it's earmarked for the junior high is because it has to be open to the public to use for a public facility. And ours gets you, that one's open. We got the basketball goal, and a lot of times during ball games, baseball games, and this and that, it gets used. So that'll help us buy equipment for that.
Okay. Any questions? Motion?
I move to approve the donation of $10,000 for the junior high playground equipment from Phillips 66.
Motion by Mike. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Stacy. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Phillips.
Yes. All right, let's discuss safety and security audit.
Okay, we had Region 16 come out and do our safety and security audit. It's something that, we can do ourselves, but Richard and I talked and we thought it was good that, we get another set of eyes to look at it. And so they came in and did our safety and security audit between November 13th and 16th. And also, we have a contract with them for safety and security, and so it was part of that contract. It didn't cost us any extra for them to come in, which was a bonus. And so they came in, and then they spent, like I said, a lot of time on all the campuses, even over here, on really all the facilities, and came up with some of the positives and our strong points and some of our weaknesses and this and that. And so we'll discuss those types of things and executive session here in just a little bit. That way, we're not our vulnerabilities aren't out to the public, and so, but I wanted to put this in there, that way you see it, and so, and explain to the public why we're gonna talk about it in closed session, so that's what that is. Yeah, we'll do that thing.
All right, let's go to campus reports, and Mrs. McCallum.
We had one more.
Yeah, we got one more on there.
Oh, sorry. Discuss possible action, budget amendment. I'm sorry, Richard.
No money for you. As you may have read in the paper, they're going to increase sewage rates. They changed to a consumption rate instead of the flat rate. We've been paying a flat $250 per campus per month. And now it'll be based on our water usage. Our water usage is, we're the highest water usage place in the city. So my estimate is it'll be about $15,000. That's for the year, so we really didn't need all of this $15,000, but that's just a guess on my part on the $15,000. So I went ahead and did the budget amendment for the full amount, even though it's just for the remainder of this year. So it's just because they've changed the rates.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say. Where was it, $20,000?
All right. Any questions? Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the budget amendment as presented.
A motion by Doug, do I have a second? Second. Second by Logan. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. All right, now. Okay. Now, we're gonna go with Mr. Wiggins so he can get out of here.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Sorry to the other administrators here, but it'd be nice to deal with that game. I'd like to say, just if you look at the report, volleyball plays very well. We went to that game at dinner, the girls got down first set, and we didn't know how they'd respond, but they came back and won the second set in a close one, so we thought, well, they made a game out of it. But every set was close, they fought hard. They wound up going 3 rounds deep and finished the season well. Football did not finish well. Numbers-wise, we did really well. We finished with 41 in high school playing football and anticipate over 50 next year playing based on the 8th grade group coming in. So numbers-wise, we should be in good shape, but we're definitely young on the varsity level, and it showed. Basketball, I'd like to say that our girls, this first time since I've been here, I need to go back and get you an actual date, but our girls just got through winning the Tulia tournament, and I don't know when the last time our varsity team won an actual tournament, but they played well and won it, but our boys played for the championship and wound up getting beat in the championship, but both teams are competing. The boys are trying to find some little continuity, a little bit more consistency, but when they're on, they can beat anybody out there. If you've looked also, UIL released, that was a big buzz this past week. UIL released cutoff numbers. For our classification, it starts at 181.5. So if you've got 181.5 kids in high school, all the way up to 254. So anywhere in that branch, there's 103 schools in the state of Texas that fall in that branch for our division in football. Now, for our basketball divisions and every other sport, including spring, now they haven't released volleyball, baseball, or softball, but for every other sport, that number goes from 105 kids all the way up to the 254 for classification 2A. So that's the potential for basketball. Football, anticipated district, and this is just anticipated, it won't be released until February. We feel like we're going to lose Stratford because they're below that number, so they definitely will not be in there, and we'll anticipate losing Farwell because they're below that number cutoff. But we feel confident we'll gain Spearman for sure, and Sunray. So travel-wise, it should be a lot better for us, and we do lose Stratford, so that doesn't hurt my feelings either. But it's not gravy, but in the same token, I'll take it, especially for the travel. Another thing I'd like to take note is softball and baseball. If you've noticed, during the period, and a lot of people have called and asked about this, during the athletic period, we can do whatever we want as far as athletics goes, but UIL has strict regulations on what you do before and after school. You can do strength training, and there's not a season on track, so track is considered year-round. But you cannot touch a baseball, softball, basketball, until the actual calendar date on UI website says, okay, now you can begin that after-school sport at that particular date. So UIL regulates that date, nobody else. And you know, there's been schools that have been turned in the past for violating that. The biggest thing is most of the time they've been turned in by their own people that get upset with the coach because they started early and whatever. But our kids have already started softball and baseball, but they do it during the athletic period. And then Coach Neely and the coaches have done a good job of bringing them up before school and working their strength and conditioning before school so they can utilize that 45-minute period during the period that works specifically sports specific. And then after school they can still do whatever they want as long as it's not with a baseball or bat in their hand, but they can come in. Now, they can come in to open turf room, and they can go up here and even open gym, whatever, as long as the coach isn't directing practice of any form or fashion, but they can open the facilities for that. They just can't direct any toward the instruction or whatnot for that. But I want to make sure that was clear because I've had some conversations about that, and it's good to have this out in the open so everybody understands that. But UIL sets those dates, we don't, and we try to follow them. So, does anybody have any questions for me at all? Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Now let's go back to Mrs. McCowan.
Okay. All right. Our enrollment at the elementary, it continues to grow. I think maybe in August, I think we were around 314. We were at 336 when I sent my board report in. We lost 4 last week. We gained 1 today, and we have more coming in January that call today. So we continue to get new students. Our attendance stays around 95%. It's 95.27. We've had lots of things happening at the elementary. It's a busy, busy time of year. But some events that we've had great parental turnout. We had our social studies night back in October, end of October. The kindergarten pumpkin carving with dads is a huge turnout. And I think we only had 2 students that didn't have their parent there. And so, of course, others jumped in to support those kiddos and carve pumpkins, and that was fun. Our costume parade was a hit, I think probably because it was indoors this year and the kids didn't freeze and neither did the parents. So that was a lot of fun. Miss Yarbrough did a fantastic job at the Veterans Program. She always does. That's always a favorite. And this year we are recognizing our kinders for their letter recognition, and we're doing that with a breakfast this year. So we're having donuts and juice with parents, and we're doing it every other 6 weeks. And so we'll do that again at the end of the 4-6 weeks. Our ladies in the cafeteria did a tremendous job for our Thanksgiving feast. It was a great, great turnout, great volunteers that came to help, and the kids enjoyed it. Our kiddos participated in UIL and did a great job. We're super proud of them. We've got a lot going on this month. We have our Santa shop happening right now. We've taken pictures with Santa, aka Mr. Stevenson, and the Grinch, Mr. Stevenson, and we're very appreciative of them. The kids love it. It is their favorite thing to do. We did end our Toys for Tots drive, and I don't know that I would have gone as hard as I did, knowing that I was going to end up with a pie in the face, but I am going to wear my goggles and my parka, and I'm going to take that like a champ next week. Our kiddos raised 369 toys for Toys for Tots.
I counted 410.
I'm sorry?
I counted 410 the day.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
that's awesome. That is awesome. And there were a few bribes in there because I really thought the losers were going to get the pies, so I really threw some incentives, and it worked, but I'm down for it. Also, we have our 1st and 2nd grade music program on Thursday, and we're excited about that. We started a happy card. It was actually our staff's idea, a card that we take around and different staff members contribute to it. So on the 15th, we're going to have breakfast casseroles and just some Christmas goodies, just to lift spirits. And so we'll do that on the 15th. We have our class Christmas parties set up for next week, and then our little Eagle rallies on the 21st, our early release day. And then the next page is just some data from DMAC data. Our 1st grade is really jumping into DMAC, which is not an easy thing to do with 1st graders, so I'm really proud of them that they're really trying to utilize that program because it gives you really great feedback. 1st grade math, Miss Hanson, she had 60% that passed her test, 40% did not, and so she actually came in and we looked at the test because some of the questioning was just a little tricky. We reworked some of the answer choices for the students, and she regave that assessment, and the students did better on that the second time. The reading, Miss Marshall, she had 68% on her test, 32% did not pass. However, 51% of those kids mastered that assessment. And so then she worked with those students that did not. We're used to using DMAC in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, but now 1st and 2nd grade are really jumping in and giving this test. The next page, just several pictures of things that have been happening. We are still doing positive phone calls home with students. We're recognizing them. We're really working on manners right now at the elementary. Social skills, walking by, making eye contact, speaking, good morning, opening the door, and they are doing a tremendous job of that. In fact, they're fighting to open the door, so we're going to have to work on that. But we're really pushing manners right now, and those orange notes that you see, we call them up to the office and we call their parent just to let them know that they're doing a great job. The last page, again, just Mrs. Rankin was recognized, and I believe that she'll be in the Phillips newsletter. I don't know if it's in this month or in January. And then there's our Grinch and our Santa. And then a picture of our 5th graders on their most recent field trip. They went to a play at Amarillo Theater and really loved it. So that's about it.
Okay, good deal. Thank you. All right, Mr. Griffin.
I'll start off with our enrollment. Right now we have 73 freshmen, 59 sophomores, 56 juniors, and 48 seniors for a total of 236, which we've been staying right around the 235 mark all year. So if we lose and we gain, we stay right about the same. And our attendance rate right now is 94.69. On the next page, just got a picture of our blackout pep rally. Pep rallies are really good for school spirit. Kids really get into it. We do enjoy them. On the next page, we had senior nights for our cross country senior boys, and also they had a presentation for Coach Henderson, so I got a picture of that. On the next page is cross country and volleyball seniors. They had those on the same night. Next page, this is our volleyball girls. As you've heard, they've done great this year. They really excelled. The first ones, they became district champs. Next page is them as by district champs, and then the next page is area champs. Really proud of those girls. Then on the next page we have our band. They advanced to UIL area band contest, and they didn't advance from there. But just watching them compared to some of the other bands that were there, I was really impressed. I thought they really did well, both in their performing instrument-wise and also their marching. I thought was compared to a lot of the others was really good. Next page, Ms. Walker went over these with y'all. I don't know how well you can see them, but they really were good, even close up. Our kids really put a lot of effort into it. It could have gone so many different ways as far as the winners. Way I understand it, there are a lot of different number ones and number twos in that rankings. So kudos to them and Ms. Walker's classes. They really put forth the effort. You've already seen the next page. That's with the kids going to the Panhandle Plains Historical Museum. She wanted to do that with them so they could see the Day of the Dead artwork and how that influences art. The next page is our theater group. They just put on their performance this last Friday. They did a free performance during the school day, and then did one to raise money that night. They did a really good job, and they were student directed. They had co-directors that were students that put this on. I was really impressed. On the next page, these are our new 2023-2024 NHS initiates. There's 12 of them. And got a good bunch there. The picture here is just the new ones that are being inducted. On the next page, I got a picture here of Avery Connor. She signed with Kansas Wesleyan University in volleyball. And I don't know if you've had a chance to watch her this year, but she really has a killer instinct and really goes at them with the hard, I don't know if they call them spikes or shots or what they are, but she's really good at it. The next page, this is a lot of the artwork around the school. Some of it comes from our nursing program, some of it comes from the art classes, some of it's, I'm not sure what all, it's from just all around the school. On there, you probably can't see it very well, but it shows a lot of what's been going on. Then the next two pages, these are our upcoming events. Basketball, band, and parent-teacher conferences on January 8th, and so on. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Right. Let's go to Mr. Hine.
Thought someone was before me.
Excuse me, Kim, let's go with Kim.
I didn't have anything extra besides the EESL.
Okay. All right, Richard.
So it was.
I mean, I can make something up if you want.
Oh, that's good. Let's go to the financial summary first, Felix. Let me find my report. There's a couple things to point out to you on the financial summary. On the graph that represents the percentage of expenditure, you'll see that the expenditures appear down this year. That graph is a representation of the percentage of expenditures. Well, we have those two large expenditures, the track and the roof. So it looks like we're not spending as high a percentage of our budget, but it's just because we have two large items that will be spent later in the year. So that's why the expenditures look like they're down on the graph. And then at the bottom of that page, the refined ADA graph. Last time we met in October, if you'll remember, it said let me pull that. Yep. So it's at around 670, and this time it says 657. We didn't really drop that much. We had to make some corrections in our PEMS data. We were counting not all of our pre-K kids actually count. We offer pre-K to everybody, but we only get paid for the ones who are socioeconomic and special ed. Is that what you? Yeah. So we made some corrections, and then I went back and corrected the graph all the way from the beginning of the year after those PEMS corrections have been made. So you'll see that we've actually stayed still 657 or whatever it's at right now. Yeah, 657 point whatever. It's really small on my screen.
0.6.
Okay. It's still much higher than we budgeted for, and it's staying fairly consistent from month to month so far. I think it's actually a little bit up since I ran that number. So that's a really good thing for us. By now, normally in a normal year, we'll start to see the number dive already, and we're not seeing that. So I'm really happy with where enrollment is. It's a really good thing for us. The next thing we can jump into is the bond. So the note I put in my report here is, even though we don't have our list of projects determined yet, I just want to remind you as board members, you can, and very much should, give your opinion on the bond to the public. You guys probably need to start talking about it with people. And once we've called the bond, I won't be able to say things like that. That's why I'm saying them now. Because once we've called the bond in a public meeting, I can't express encouragement for you guys to go express encouragement for people, but until the public, I mean, we just went through some training where they told us that, yeah, until you call the bond, you guys can say whatever you want in the board meeting, but once you call the bond, you guys have to be facts only, so that's why I'm talking about that. We are meeting with the architect tomorrow to go over his estimated prices on everything, and we're requesting a called meeting next week to go over it, so that we can start to set, this is what's gonna be on the bond. We can wait till January, I mean, it's really up to you guys. But we want to get it done as quickly as possible so we have more time. So that's why we said, hey, can we have a call meeting next week to talk about, to start setting what's actually gonna be on the bond. My next topic is federal impact aid. I don't remember if I've ever talked to you guys about this before, but I've been working on this project for a couple of years now. Our school district, we have 34 square miles of school districts, 17 of which is federal land. There is a program called Federal Impact Aid where the federal government gives you money for your tax loss. It is a very complicated program to get. I reached out to Region 16 2 years ago, and they're like, yeah, no, we don't know anything. I reached out to my organization, TASBO, that I'm a member of, and they said, yeah, we can help you if you have students, because there's two different types of federal impact aid. One is land is part of your district federal impact aid, and one is you have a whole bunch of students that are from federal. So like, for example, if you're Lackland ISD that has an Air Force base right there, a huge percentage of your students going to your school are from the federal employees because they're from the Air Force base. And they're like, yeah, we can help you out with the student population thing. Nobody could help me out with the land thing. So I've been working pretty hard on this for a couple of years now. I talked to the Department of Education 3 weeks ago because I've finally been able to determine when the government actually got the Lake Meredith area. And I've been able to determine the value of the school district at that time. The two things that I still lack, I talked to the Department of Energy, they said I had to have the exact value of the land that the government acquired at that time, and I've got to have the exact number of square feet in both the total district square feet and how much of it's federal land square feet. Once I have all of those numbers, from everything I've been able to uncover, we're eligible. And so if I can start getting this, it'll be probably more than $1 million annually. But I'm going to have to spend some money. I'm going to have to hire a surveyor probably to get the number of square feet and to find out. I'm hopeful. There was I know that over at the county they found a book that says, Sanford Ranch sale to the federal government. So I might be able to get the deeds from the county. If I can't get them from the county, I'm going to have to do a public information request from the Department of Interior. And if I do a public information request from the Department of Interior, they're going to want me to pay for their time. So I'll have to do that. It's the only way once we have those things, we're virtually guaranteed that we're going to be eligible for this program. And it doesn't give you, like for example, since it's half the size of our school district, so we raise about $1.3 million. Well, no, because of the INS, we may raise about $1.7 million in taxes. So in theory, it ought to be about $1.7 million, but it's never fully funded. So you get a percentage of, they take everybody who applies, say this is how much money we have, and this is how much percent we can fund. And so historically, they've been funding about 80%. Still, 80% of that would be an enormous boon to our budget. Now, it will affect our state funding some. The state will offset it and say, well, you're getting money from the Fed, so we're not going to pay you as much. But it'll still be more money in the end room. So I'm just letting you guys know, because I probably have to spend a little money on the chance that we can get this done. I don't know if I can get it done by January 31st this year. I've been trying, but that date is coming rapidly. It might slip on to next year again before I can get it done. And then I had one other thing. The auditor asked us to move the audit to January. That's why he's not here tonight, because that section of the audit where he says this is how much of our responsibility all the retiree stuff is. He hires somebody else to do that. He doesn't do that himself, and that person isn't done. So he's done with his portion, the person he hires isn't done with their portion, therefore he's asked us to hold it off. Any questions on any of that? Or anything else on the financial side? That's all I had for you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Garrison.
All right, like Mr. Hines said, we are meeting with the architect in the morning. Does anybody have a problem with having to call bond workshop next week? What about the 18th, we have junior high game, basketball here. The 19th, there's band. And so the Wednesday, the 20th, does anybody have an issue with meeting, if he can meet then? Okay, I'll get that set up if he can meet then. Now the special education bus that we ordered 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
We finally got it. It came yesterday, so we're working on getting it all tagged and all that. It's a nice bus. That's going to be a great addition because that other one is junk. I mean, it really is. And so we're excited to get it in and get it going. Let's see. We've got a Ford truck. It's a diesel. It got all gummed up and all that type of deal because we don't put a whole lot of miles on it. They drive it around the different campuses. Then really, it's just been sitting since I've been in this chair. It's been just sitting, and finally Mr. Wakefield got it out, and that's what they got it fixed and running. We would like to take it and trade it off and get something that we can use, possibly for like the transportation director or, that type of deal. And so I just really asking for your blessing to go ahead and, I guess, like I said, it's a diesel. We're not gonna drive it like it needs to be. We'd like to get something that we could use. And so, and it just still has value. I mean, it's a decent truck. It's just, it doesn't have a bed on it or anything like that. And so, are y'all all right with us looking into getting rid of it? Okay. And we're not going to spend an arm and a leg on something. We're just trying to get something that where we can get rid of it and that we can use. And then, several activities going on right now. We've got basketball, several tournaments here and there. Like I said, we've got band, we got first and second grade program on Thursday, and then we'll do our first grading Thursday at 6. Shouldn't take very long at all. And so semester tests at the junior high and high school next week, early release on Thursday, and then we'll be in the second semester, which is crazy. This year's flown by. And so, any questions for me?
Okay. All right, let's look at next month's meeting. Did you say you wanted to do it?
I don't think he gave us a date, did he?
He did not give us a date.
No.
So I would say we set it and
Change it whenever he gives us a date? So you want to go out? How about the 15th? Tentatively.
I'll be gone all week.
We'll probably change the meeting because you're gonna be gone that whole week? Okay. You'll be just out that one night. Okay. Let's try for the 16th then.
I didn't bring my phone, so I don't know.
Tentatively, I don't see.
Basketball game that night?
Yeah, so it's like Tuesdays and what, the basketball?
Mondays and Tuesdays.
Mondays and Tuesdays.
We can run over the game or Thursday.
I didn't bring my phone.
Isn't that what we usually change it to, was Wednesdays because of basketball?
I think basketball was Thursdays.
Was it Thursdays? Was it
Yeah, I think it's Thursdays through January, and in February we'll have to go back to Wednesdays.
Yeah, because of baseball.
Well, the youth basketball league, we all run into.
So you just want to try to do it, this one on Wednesday, and then the next one will be, just keep doing them on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just do that, the 17th. Okay. Ms. Ryan, will you call us into closed session at 7:15 to discuss personnel, to hear complaints against certain personnel or public officer? I, personnel deliberation on reason for administrative position, and B, develop or specify occasion of implementation of security personnel, critical infrastructure, security devices, or a security audit. Texas Governmental Code 551.076 and 551.07. John Benson?
No, we're good.
All right, Mr. Hyde, will you call us out of executive session at 8:02? And there was no action taken. So I make a motion to adjourn at 8:02.
Second.
Second by Doug, all in favor? All in favor, none opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned